Now, Green Bay obviously isn't in the AFC West, but again, I'm looking at the entire list, and it's a team that stood out to me. I'm like, oh, Green Bay, like he said, we haven't talked about them in a while, and 7.5 wins, they're over under win total, and my initial take was okay, that feels like an over to me. Yeah, I think the roster's pretty good. Aaron was average by league standards, 91 pass rating, pretty average. Top 12, but nothing overly Aaron Rodgers feel, right? It wasn't an MVP caliber season by any means. And they won 8 games. Or, I'm sorry, 9. I don't know. They just missed the playoffs. 8, 9, 9, and 8, whatever. So I think 8 is reasonable. With a little bit less chaos this year, Jordan Love comes in. I'm like, okay, 8 feels reasonable to me. But then I start looking deeper, and the more I think about it, it feels like a 6 to 7 win team. To me, the more I look into Green Bay. Especially Jordan Love. In specific, yes, the O-line's good. I like the running game, but their weapons are ranked, I don't know, depending on where you're looking, anywhere between 25 and 30. PFF has them at 27. That's usually a good metric. PFF, I like most of their things. I use them for a lot of metrics in terms of ranking position groups. I think they're pretty good at that. Their secondary is a definition of average at 16. But I mean, Jair Alexander rolls an ankle. What are they, 26, 27? They're 19th on the defensive line. Nothing crazy. The crazy thing is, though, the entire thing hinges on a quarterback that we have no idea what to expect, Jordan Love. The question is, can Jordan Love excel with an average roster? Right? Can Jordan Love, who, I mean, as a prospect in the last 10 years, he's certainly not like a Burrow, a Herbert, probably not even a Tua. As a prospect, I would argue he's closer to like a Paxton Lynch from, 7 years ago now, than he is like one of the top 10 quarterbacks that we currently see in the league right now. He was a first-round pick, but it kind of felt like a reach in the first round. When he sees the field, yes, he's gotten better, but let's not act like he's been special when he's been on the field. I mean, so let's look at. We can all agree Green Bay's a fairly well-run organization, bunch of smart people, right? A lot of people like Matt LaFleur. I think he's okay, but a lot of people love him. David Bakhtiari's good. The front office is generally pretty smart. Right? They're thought of like this big brand, really smart, well-run. I would mostly agree. So let's look at some what we hear out of the building right now. David Bakhtiari said, quote, "This is a rebuild." So my Hall of Fame left tackle, who played with another Hall of Famer at the same position as Jordan Love, said, "This is a rebuild." Well, why would it be a rebuild? It's the same roster. I mean, the same running game. Offensive line actually gets healthier coming into the season. They lost a pass rusher. Oh my God, they drafted another one. Jair Alexander's healthy. The linebackers are about the same. Weapons are actually young, but another year in the system, so they should be better. Why would it be a rebuild? Because the only position that really changed in a dramatic way would be quarterback. How about multiple coaches, executives, front office people making comments along the lines of, or even exactly, slow down, let's temper expectations? You heard out of the Chiefs camp, 3 weeks into Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, hasn't even seen the field yet. Oh, this guy's special. Slow down, let's temper expectations. In year 4? It's year 4. Right, so let's line it all up. As of now, from what we've seen and what we've heard, the Packers have, I don't want to say easily, but definitely the worst quarterback in the division. Offensive line is second best, but again, one rolled ankle to David Bakhtiari, who's been hurt 2 of the last 3 seasons. They go down to what? 3rd, maybe? It's probably the worst wide receiver group in the division. I'll give them the best running back group, but I do think Detroit's interesting with the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's a very interesting running back room. Could be number 1. I would say that rounds out about average, especially offensively. So can Jordan Love carry average? I'm going to lean no, probably. I also don't think Matt LaFleur is as good of a coach as people think. I think without a Hall of Famer at the helm, and I don't think Aaron is, at that point, all that. He's fine. But at the end of the day, he's still a Hall of Famer at the line of scrimmage, right? He's going to check you in and out of plays. You're going to get into better run schemes, better protection. Hot routes are going to be a little bit crisper, right? So with a Hall of Famer at the helm, you're going to look like a better coach naturally. And I don't think LaFleur is as good of a coach as Aaron made him seem. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but you're going to see more of a truer Matt LaFleur this season. So can Jordan Love carry that to the playoffs? I would argue no. In an improving division, yes, we know the NFC's not as good as the AFC, but I would argue it's improving, right? Like Detroit's getting better, right? The only team that you can really look at and say, oh my God, they're going to be significantly worse is Tampa Bay without Brady. Where Detroit's better. Chicago, now I don't think they're very good, but they're going to be better. I think Minnesota, although they might regress a little bit, is still going to be close to a double-digit win team. Carolina got better. I think New Orleans got better. I think Atlanta could sneak their way into a wild card spot. It's a very, very weak schedule. The Giants aren't going to be as good, but they didn't lose any significant pieces. They're still going to be average at best, right? Just like they were last year. They just got hot a little bit. Washington should be better. Another year under Ron Rivera. A lot of young guys getting better. We know Philly's going to be just as good. Dallas is going to be good. I mean, Arizona is going to suck. Everybody else in that division is going to be just as good, if not better. So the NFC is getting stronger. Now, it's, again, by no means strong, but you're telling me that you're going to lose a Hall of Fame quarterback. People in the building are saying that it's a rebuild. We are to slow down and temper expectations. And you're going to get to the playoffs and make a run? I would doubt it. I'd probably bet the under at 7.5. Could they maybe sneak across an 8? Maybe. I feel good at 7.5 taking the under. I don't think Green Bay has what it takes this year. They probably missed the playoffs in my eyes. Again, we'll get to that later when we do divisional predictions, but that's what it feels like to me. It's something that stood out as I was looking at the over-unders prepping for the AFC West predictions.
It's going to be so interesting. And there's so many pieces to look at, like you were talking about. Like, you could almost dive deeper and do a specific rant on like 4 subtopics of this topic, right? LaFleur without Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right? You could look at
Jordan Love.
The fact that just Jordan Love only has 10 career games where he actually played on an NFL football field.
Started 1, I think, yeah? Started 1.
Yeah, started 1, but has gotten in 9 others, right? Okay, so he's had 10 career, 60% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Very average.
So,
that's
and then you can look at it from the perspective of, look, Green Bay couldn't even win playoff games with Aaron Rodgers.
Couple first-round exits.
They struggled a lot. Now you add this Jordan Love guy in here who has very little experience.
I would agree. And here's a weird thing is, and now this is kind of putting the horse before the wagon or wagon before the horse. I don't know, whatever the saying is. It doesn't matter. I'm not 65 years old. That's a total old person saying.
Sure, but get the point, though.
But yeah, the point is, if Jordan Love is even decent, does Green Bay feel this moment of, like, what do we have to pay him now? Even if he's the 16th best quarterback, they sneak into the playoffs with the 7th seed, lose because they're going to be playing the 2nd seed, which is probably Philly or San Fran, on the road. So they're not built to win that game, even if they exceed expectations. Does Green Bay sit there and go, oh my God, do we pay him?
No.
Because now you're in the middle of the road in the draft, so you're not probably going to be able to draft somebody. And Green Bay is not a place where you're going to give up a ton of assets to go get a free agent.
They never have.
So what's your plan? Are you going to pay him? I'm not saying
probably.
Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here because I don't think that's going to happen.
Right,
I don't believe in Jordan Love.
This is a big projection,
but it's a good organization. It's stable. Like, it wouldn't floor me if he's the 15th, 16th best quarterback in the league. That's like Daniel Jones level. A little bit better, but still.
Sure. I'd say yes if the price is right, though. Like, you're not going to go out and pay like big money to Jordan Love. I know
that's exactly what we thought with Daniel Jones.
Right, but the quarterback market is crazy. You're right. I just don't know if I think any awake, living, breathing person would know that you don't shell out the bank to Jordan Love.
I would agree, but we said the same thing about Daniel Jones.
I know. We got to see it though.
We would have to see it. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to happen soon. Getting closer and closer to the NFL season.